Support for this podcast comes from listeners and St. Alphonsus Health System, a regional network of hospitals, clinics, and care providers. St. Alphonsus offers comprehensive healthcare services to individuals and families throughout the community. More information about services and locations is available at stalphonsus.org.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's daily news. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. This morning, we have the latest on those mismatched election ballots in Elmore County, plus the cost of Thanksgiving. It is Thursday, a week before Thanksgiving, the 20th of November. Here we go with today's stories. The family of a University of Idaho student murdered along with 3 U of I classmates in the fall of 2022 says they will sue Washington State University. Bryan Kohberger has been convicted and sentenced to life in prison for the murders. Kohberger was a student at Washington State at the time of the killings. The family of Kaylee Gonsalves, one of the victims, told KREM Television in Spokane that they are seeking accountability from Washington State, according to some court documents that were made public after Kohberger was convicted and sentenced. Some students and faculty at Washington State had expressed concerns about Kohberger. The Gonsalves family says it is filing a tort claim indicating its intent to file a lawsuit. Now, Idaho health officials say they think an infant hospitalized in Ada County is suffering from botulism that may be linked to a particular brand of baby formula, a brand that has recently been recalled. Officials say the Idaho case is suspected to be linked to By Heart Whole Nutrition Infant Formula and that brand's Anywhere packs. Since this summer, of 83 cases of infant botulism, a rare and serious disease, the Food and Drug Administration says 23 cases were linked or suspected to be linked to the By Heart product. On its website, By Heart now says it will expand its voluntary recall to include more batches of its infant formula products. A hand count has now been ordered. That after about 300 ballots in Elmore County were not counted in the November 4th election. Julie Lucatau reports.
The Elmore County clerk notified the Secretary of State's office of the discrepancy last Friday, kicking off an investigation into what happened. Secretary of State Phil McGrain says there is no indication of foul play, but called the situation very concerning.
We're looking at potentially 10% of the ballots cast in this election at this point not having been tabulated.
McGrain says the county used new business processes and equipment, but it's unclear where things went wrong. Discrepancies were found in several precincts.
Should have been identified prior to the results being canvassed. That's one of the things that our team is looking at, is just trying to evaluate where did things go wrong in the process. And I can say at this point, I don't have enough information.
The uncounted ballots could affect close races. For instance, the Mountain Home School District levy and Mountain Home City Council races, determined by less than 30 vote margins.
It is possible that an outcome can change as the result of a recount, and there's a statutory process to provide all the parties involved, especially the candidates, any recourse.
McGrain says his team is working with the county clerk, prosecutor, and sheriff's offices to review all ballots and related election materials, and should get more answers in the next couple of days. Julie Lucatau, Boise State Public Radio News.
And after a review, we learned late yesterday that the Elmore County clerk has ordered a county-wide hand count of all ballots. They will begin Monday morning. We're now about a week away from Thanksgiving, what is traditionally the busiest travel holiday in the U.S. Gas prices are going down a bit. The AAA is predicting that about 478,000 Idahoans will be traveling next week. The AAA considers the holiday travel period to run from next Tuesday through the following Monday. About 90% of Thanksgiving travelers will be traveling by car, so the average price of a gallon of gas in Idaho is about $3.30, about 3 cents cheaper than a year ago, and about 14 cents cheaper than a month ago. Earlier this year, we reported on the surge of avian flu and how it was not only devastating to commercial flocks, but how it had spread to Idaho dairy farms. And now, on a national scale, we're getting word that it will have a big impact on turkeys this holiday season. The Capitol Press is reporting that roughly 2.1 million turkeys have been killed in the U.S. due to avian influenza since late August. Turkey farms as close as Utah have been impacted. Bottom line, bird flu is the main factor for the decline in turkey meat supply this Thanksgiving, and a good reason why Thanksgiving dinners may be more expensive. And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here Friday. You can always stay in touch with the news on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. Tell your friends and family about The Connector and how they can find it wherever they find their favorite podcasts. For now, to you, thanks for listening.
Sources and methods, the crown jewels of the intelligence community. Shorthand for how do we know what's real? Who told us? If you have those answers, you're on the inside, and NPR wants to bring you there. From the Pentagon to the State Department to spy agencies, listen to understand what's really happening and what it means for you. Sources and Methods, the new national security podcast from NPR.